In today's video, I'm going to give you an introduction to online book selling from the book listing or book lister's perspective. Now, you're just getting into the program. You're really excited to get started. I think it's really important to give you a bird's eye view, a high level view of how a book selling business operates so you can understand your specific role in the whole thing. So how does it all work? Now, it's super important to understand all facets of an Amazon book selling business. And the way our book selling businesses run is this. There's basically four distinct roles. There's a book sorcerer, and I'll explain to you what that means. There's a book lister, there's a book sales manager, and then there's the Amazon seller. Now, depending on who you're planning on working, if you're planning on working for my company specifically, then these are going to be the four different roles that are being played in our book selling business. But depending on who you're working for, which Amazon seller you're working with, the structure of their business might differ a little bit. So be sure to have a good conversation with them to make sure that you're on the same page about how things operate. So first we're going to look at the book sorcerer. The book sorcerer is the individual that goes out and buys the books. So they're going to library sales and thrift stores and estate sale managers, and they're trying to find that inventory. They're using they have their own set of tools and equipment, and they're using that technology to find out which books have the highest likelihood of being resold for a desirable profit. And again, that criteria is going to be collaborated and decided upon with the book sales manager and the Amazon seller. And so once that criteria is in place, it's the book sourcer's job to go find it. Now, when we say sorcerer as sourcing, we're referring to that there's different sources of inventory. There's different locations that have books that have potential good resale value. And so it's this guy's book to go to this person's responsibility to go to those sources and to do some sourcing, which is a verb. And so we consider that person the book sorcerer. Now, the book sorcerer will buy the books, and then he or she will drop them off at the house or the office of the book lister. So the inventory is delivered to the book lister. Now, then the book lister, that's the person that prepares and lists the books. They grab all the books that were dropped off at their house. They prepare them for sale by cleaning them up and removing any stickers or tags. They list the books using a third-party listing software called ScanLister. And so what they're essentially doing is they're taking all the information that Amazon needs to know. They're saying, okay, Amazon, we're going to be sending you these books that we would like to potentially sell online. And then what you do in a nutshell, and I'm obviously going to go into more detail into this as we get further into the course, but as the book lister, you're taking all the books, you're packing them up in bulk in like 35 to 50 pound boxes, and then you're shipping them off to Amazon's fulfillment centers or warehouses so they can eventually be sold and fulfilled by Amazon. The book sales manager, if applicable, I know there's a lot of Amazon sellers that do the managing themselves, but for our business specifically, we have a book sale manager who kind of just oversees the entire book selling process. So the book sales manager is the one that's just kind of a coordinator. Consider them like the general contractor, the individual who's taking all the talents of the individual pieces, the listers and the sourcers, and making sure that everybody's operating on the same page. The book sales manager does things like hiring and training and takes, does firing or has some corrective action worked in there, and also just generally offering support. I mean, their goal is to make sure that the listers and the sourcers are in the best position to succeed. And then finally, there's the Amazon seller. They're the individual or the company that provides the necessary capital to get this thing going. I mean, as a book lister or a book sorcerer or a book sales manager, you're going to be paid for the time and the effort and the energy and the inventory that you find. But oftentimes, if not all the time, you're being paid for inventory that hasn't even had an opportunity to sell yet. And that lag time is made up with the capital infusion of the Amazon seller. Now, the Amazon seller, it's a complicated job. For those of you who sold online a little bit, you may know, but Amazon is always changing their policy. They're always pivoting. They're always updating different software. They're always changing requirements and restrictions, and so it's up to the Amazon seller to stay up to date on that. Also, the Amazon seller handles all repricing of inventory. Like once all this inventory gets in, you don't want it to sit around forever, just eating up storage fees. And so Periodically, once a week, maybe twice a week, the Amazon seller will go in and by hand reprice all this inventory. Also, customer service. I mean, when you're selling hundreds of items a day, you're going to get a lot of customer service issues that come to your attention. Now, Amazon, they're fulfilling all the orders and they do general customer service, but the customer has a problem or an issue or a concern, you're going to get those emails. You got to deal with them in a timely manner. In fact, if it takes you longer than 24 hours, that's when Amazon starts to get upset. And then finally, dealing with overstocked or customer returned items. So when they return a book, or if books have just sat there for so long and there's nothing you need to sell them, you're going to need to arrange to have them shipped back to you. And there's just time and process and effort that goes in that. There's another handful of duties and responsibilities the Amazon seller has to deal with. I just wanted to give you a general overview of what their role is. But ultimately, synergy is the key. There's something about finding people that are good at sourcing books, finding some other people that are good at listing books, finding somebody who's excellent at managing and building teams and leading, and then finding somebody who has the capital and the ability to handle the Amazon seller account. When you put that all together, you just create this incredible synergy. Like literally, somebody could do all this on their own. I know a lot of people out there that do all the sourcing and the listing and the managing and the shipping themselves. But when you get a good team together, everybody experiences a higher level of success that they could ever achieve on their own. I mean, literally, the book sorcerer, the book lister, the book manager, and the Amazon seller are all making more money by kind of hyper-focusing on a specific area that their strengths are geared towards. And it's like all the people working together, the synergy, the energy, the productivity of the group really elevates each individual in the group as well. And so this is really, really exciting. I'm excited for you to get started as a book lister. Hopefully that over the course of this course, you're going to just realize the amazing potential, the earning potential that you're going to have. You're going to have listing books to be sold on Amazon. It is truly an exciting time to be you. The tools and equipment and technology are geared to help you succeed. And so I'm really excited to work with you as we dig in deeper into the exciting world of listing books on Amazon.